We started TutorSource because we ourselves are tutors. Everybody here who works at the company has at one point been a tutor who's made $25 or $30 or $35 an hour working for an agency that made $80 or $90 or $100 an hour. But we really wanted to do it in such a way that we could build something sustainable and something great, where tutors everywhere could build their own businesses and again take home the bulk of those dollars. I'm sure you've got a million questions about how to build your tutoring business. And so we thought we'd start at the beginning. First, we'll explain how TutorSource works. Parents come to the site where they search for tutors in their area. Tutors are then displayed based on a variety of things, based on the strength of their profile, based on user reviews, that kind of thing. Once a parent finds a tutor who they think they might connect with and who they're interested in, they'll then connect with and contact that tutor. Once a parent reaches out to a particular tutor, we have a sense for what kinds of other tutors they'd be interested in. We'll then usually recommend another 5 or 6 tutors to that particular parent. So even if you don't get initially contacted by a parent who's searching, you might get a request because that parent had requested information from a tutor who was similar to you. Once a parent contacts a tutor, in this case perhaps you will receive an email notification. In that email notification, it will tell you a little bit about the parent, the student, the location, the hours that they're available. You then log into your TutorSource dashboard to respond to that particular request. You have 2 things you can do. You can either choose not to respond, either because it's not convenient to you by location, not a subject that you're totally comfortable tutoring, any number of reasons. Or you can choose to view that lead. You view leads by clicking this button. Once you view the lead, you can then immediately call the parent. You have access to their phone number, to their email address, and again, you know a lot of information about what that parent is looking for. This is your real opportunity to sell yourself and to sell your services. How do you do that? Ask a lot of questions. Ask about the child, their learning styles, how they're doing in school, if they're an athletic student, an academic student, what they're interested in outside of academic pursuits, and be accommodating of their scheduling needs because frankly, that's one of the primary benefits that they're going to see from working with a tutor. Remember, tutoring is a fit, and the more you can work with a parent to figure out if that's a fit, the more likely you are to be able to actually sell them your tutoring services and then build your tutoring business. Responsiveness is key. If you're able to go and build a relationship with that parent very quickly, then you will get that business. So let's say you've talked to the parent, you've emailed with them, you've connected, and you said, hey, you know what, this sounds fantastic. Let's do some tutoring together. Let's meet at the neighborhood Starbucks at 3 p.m. on Tuesday. What do you do next? You would then send the parent a tutoring request. You do that by clicking this button called Set Up Tutoring. In that, you do a couple things. You will set the rate that you're sending over to that parent, set the number of hours, and then send any kind of a personalized note. But don't do the tutoring yet, because you don't know if they've paid. Wait till they have paid before you actually go perform your tutoring services. Once you receive notification that the parent has paid for the tutoring, what's the next thing you do? Well, you go tutor. And when you finish tutoring, you come back and you enter notes. This is very important for the parents because they need to be kept apprised of their child's progress in working with you. When you start running out of hours, you can then immediately click a button and set up more tutoring. By far, the best way to build your tutoring business is to set up ongoing tutoring with clients with whom you already have a good relationship. One thing to keep in mind when you're setting up tutoring, very often parents will negotiate rates with you, and you do actually have the ability to set a specific or change a rate from your baseline rate to work with a particular parent. We would recommend that if you are going to drop your rate, you do it over multiple sessions. So you might tell a parent, hey, you know what, normally I charge $30 an hour. For you, I'll do it for $25 an hour, but I'll need you to commit to 4 or 5 or 6 hours. That way you can begin to really start building that business up without taking the risk of doing a free session or doing a very low price session early on. So now you've started to build a business. But what's the most important part? How do you guys get paid? Well, that's also very simple, and there are simple instructions on the site on how to put in your direct deposit information. So you might be wondering, how do you get noticed in the first place? There's a couple different ways. First of all, when a parent does a search in their area, tutors are listed in a certain order. That listing is based on a few things. Number 1 is profile strength, and number 2 is responsiveness. So the best way to increase where you come out on that listing is to respond very rapidly and very professionally to inquiries and to have a very strong profile. One of the first things you can do is have a really professional, engaging looking photo. Our research has shown that profiles with engaging photos have a much higher click-through rate than profiles without photos. The second thing is to have a really professional personal statement. If your personal statement is professionally written and shows that you're an engaging and a smart person, parents are much more likely to choose to connect with you. You also want to be getting and collecting testimonials from your past clients. One of the biggest and most important aspects of a tutor's profile is the testimonials that they're able to generate from past clients. Nothing makes a parent feel more comfortable working with you than seeing that you have worked with other students, ideally from their own school. And so we can't stress enough how important the two big things are: professionalism and promptness of your reply. We built this business so that we could enable tutors like you to build your own businesses. That said, we still have a variety of things that we need to support with the fees that we charge. So I'll explain a little bit about how the fees work. TutorSource takes about 20% of every transaction. It covers the ongoing maintenance for the website. It covers credit card transaction fees. It covers reporting. It covers customer service. It covers marketing. It covers public relations. There are a variety of things that go into building and running a business. In short, we take care of all the mundane aspects of running a business so that you can focus on the thing that you do best, which is being an awesome tutor. Ultimately, our goal is to enable tutors everywhere to build their own businesses. Please, again, let us know if there are any things that we can do to help you towards that goal.
Find the right tutor at TutorSource. Visit us at tutorsource.com or call us at 877-987-TUTOR.